Final deadline, 32 hours.
Oh, come on, Bill. We won the short pitch. They love the idea. Now we just have to finalise the long pitch. We could win. We could really win.
Oh, for goodness sake, Kate. Enough already. All right, you convinced me. We'll go in for this screenplay shenanigan.
Oh, at last.
Still, it is amazing. They paid $10 million just for a screenplay.
Well, it's not just a screenplay competition. It's going to be the biggest movie ever. And it's going to be a revolution. And I want a revolution. I am just so happy that we can earn this money and start our new women's empowerment movement.
Yes, and then if I win the Euro Millions, I will support you.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, thank you so much, Bill, for supporting me. And today we are going to discuss how we can finalise a brilliant script to start our women's empowerment revolution in the world.
Women's empowerment revolution? Impossible. Us men have been superior to women for years.
But the new era of women's empowerment is coming, and every new era goes through the 3 stages of ridicule, rejection, but finally gentle acceptance.
Yes, but Kate dear, most of the money is in the hands of the men.
But what about personal values? Or is cash the key to change? Maybe I'm after your money, Bill. If so, it's very brave of you to support me. I know how strongly you believe in male supremacy. It's just one of your things.
My thing, as a doctor of physical medicine, is healthy lifestyle for good health care. I don't believe that women are superior to men, but I'm perfectly willing to talk about it.
Maybe you can change my mind, huh?
And maybe change and achieve the impossible.
Yeah.
Change your mind.
All right.
Cheers.
Do you know that is Google?
What?
Yeah.
Who? Where are they? What are they doing in our house?
Google is real.
Well, he's not real.
Yeah. Do you know he's more real, actually, some ways, than you and me.
But why is he here? What's he doing in our house?
Google is everywhere and knows everything. Can't stop him now. And Google's going to help us with our final script.
No problem. Cheers.
Cheers.
Google, we need to write a long script that will start with, that will win the competition and start a women's empowerment revolution in the world for peace, healthcare, personal freedom, non-violence, child security and social welfare. Is that enough?
No problem. You start writing.
And I will help you develop your great characters. Cheers.
Yes. Yes. For over 4,000 years, men have been superior to women. Do you really think that this women empowerment thing can happen in 2012?
Well, you know, Bill, now it is 2012. I do believe that women are superior to men. You know, for years, you men have dominated us women, and we allowed it to happen. But now...
Once made equal to man, woman becomes his superior.
Socrates.
In or out of bed?
Both, actually. Yeah. You men are physically stronger, so useful for the old battles, but no more, please. No. We no longer depend on your muscles for electronic developments. We don't need your muscles anymore, but brains.
So you're going to have a woman's revolution like the Amazons. But where are they now? Whatever happened to them? They were very good with bows and arrows.
Exactly. The new Amazons. Thank you for a new name, Bill. Yeah, exactly. Because now with electronic developments, women can do any job and take control with just one little electronic click. The world is changing, Bill.
Title for our futuristic.
Okay, new Amazon boss. Good title for our sci-fi extravaganza. But I don't believe that women are superior to men.
Well, I want to get women into power ASAP. And our new script about the new Amazons is going to be super popular, and it's going to be both a movie and our strategy for the coming revolution.
Once equal to man, woman becomes his superior.
Men will be terrified.
I don't think I fully qualify to become a member of your group without a little surgery.
Oh, right. That's not necessary yet, Bill. Maybe worthwhile later. But Pamela has a PhD in women's and social history, and Reeve is a very renowned psychiatrist.
Oh, excellent. Well, I hope to learn a lot from them.
We only have
Always willing to learn.
sometimes true, but I hope you're strong enough for a tough day with women without any sex. So today we're going to discuss how we can start a new Amazon women's movement.
Have you planned for lunch?
Have you planned a lunch including Amazon wine to inspire us?
Oh, of course, Bill, even a scotch and soda. I know your preferences. Oh, that'll be then. Bill, be on your best behaviour, please. No more grilling them with your old themes of preventive healthcare for a healthy sex life. Agreed?
Agreed. Until I get to know them better.
Oh.
Hi, how are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing?
Come on in, Reeve. Come on in.
Nice to see you again.
Yes.
So glad to hear you.
I know, I hold a short pitch, guys. It's brilliant. It's
amazing.
Just a long pitch to go now. You have a revolution. Anyway, you both know my husband, Bill. Now, he is strongly devoted to male superiority, so our discussion should be fun.
Reinforcement for the women.
What?
Oh, this is Google helping us.
Oh, great. Hello, Google.
Cheers.
Very pleased to meet both such powerful women. Hope to learn a lot from you.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Bill.
I have done all the research you suggested.
Cheers.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
I'm intrigued by your invitation to discuss women's empowerment. As a psychiatrist, I think it's a great idea and could become a political reality in the world. Not a violent revolution, please.
Oh, no. Anyway, today we have to write our script manifesto. We already have our title, New Amazons.
New Amazons? By the way, what happened to the old ones? Or were they all killed in battles?
Oh, that would be exciting.
Well, I want a compelling discussion that will inspire us to write our screenplay and develop it. But first, a vote. Are we ready for women's empowerment revolution in the 21st century with the new Amazons? In my vote, not yet.
No.
No.
Definitely not.
Google only gets criticised.
And never gets to vote.
Okay, so we're agreed. The start of our discussion, it's 0 to 4. Well, let's see if we change during the day.
Can I express an opinion?
Yeah.
So for me, women's empowerment works great in theory, but not so well in practice. Men are permanently in control. The top 97% of both political and business worlds are dominated by older, more experienced men like Bill, who really believe in male superiority. Perhaps with thousands of years of experience, men know best how to manage things.
Except perhaps with the Tuareg tribe as the one exception.
Where the Muslim women completely dominated the men, choosing to sleep with a different man every night.
I understand you, Pamela. But if in 2012 we really believe that women and men are equal, then with democracy there must be a way to achieve that equality, in practice at last, in the 21st century.
It may take 20 years.
Or 1,000. I know that most women do live 10 years longer than men, but with a democratic majority vote, you still haven't taken over, you just haven't done it. So my tiny minority of obese men are still in control. Look at political television presentations. Almost all the compares are men. Agreed?
Good point, Bill. But that is exactly why we need to start this new women's empowerment movement and inspire them to join us. We need to motivate women to change. What do you think, Pamela, with your background?
Well, I'm a political skeptic. The past is full of political lies and oppression. It seems amazing to me now that it wasn't until 1922 that the UK government finally gave women the right to vote, despite the suffragette movement struggling for over 100 years.
It wasn't my fault, I wasn't there.
Do men really believe they can change determined women?
We need to use as many examples as we can. Google, search personal interactions from eminent people in the past, present and future to provoke and inspire us.
It'll be a great collection of characters. Audiences love sci-fi and historical costumes.
That sounds fun. Can you chat with them?
We could start with a Church of Science seance. Oh, spirit of the great Peter O'Toole, come to us.
No, not him. He was too rude.
We don't need these archaic spiritual sessions. We have Google.
At your service.
Cheers.
Okay, so let's make today dramatic, fun and exciting. Agreed?
Agreed. Right now, starting with Herodotus and the Amazons.
Amazons, rubbish. They didn't exist. They're all just part of Greek mythology.
So now I bring in reinforcements. The ferocious Amazons, related in 484 BC by Herodotus. Welcome.
Thank you. I am Herodotus, and I wrote so much about the time of fierce female warriors known as the Amazons. But they were captured by the Greek raiders, thrown in their ships and set sail for home. But they escaped, recaptured their weapons and killed all of the Greek raiders.
Why?
Women are very tough but conceal it very carefully. This time they overdid it. They should have saved one man.
So, how to escape? They were horsemen. They did not know how to sail boats. They needed just one man. But it was too late. All of the men had passed. So they drifted to Crimea and went ashore, set up the Amazon tribe. They would have sex just once a year to keep the tribal continuity. They would throw away their sons and keep their daughters to keep the power of the women in the tribe.
Did they really exist?
Yes. They are so much part of our Greek history. And so many graves of armed Amazon women have been discovered.
How did they fight?
They fought on horseback, perhaps satisfying their sexual needs. They certainly achieved independence and dominance over men for years.
With women in control, they believed they did not need men.
Except once a year, when we were very handy. Understatement.
They were in control for years, until the men came much later.
That was 1400 BC. Could it happen again?
Perhaps. Who knows what women may decide to do.
Takes about 20 years to find out what your wife is truly like. Women are so discreet.
Sex once a year? Well, may have been all right for the Amazons, but not for men. And they threw their sons away. Us men were just not needed. Oh, great disgrace.
You are really good, Bill. We do like to have you around. Not all the time, but occasionally.
Women are so discreet.
Thank you, dear. Sex once a year, thank you, dear. I do hope I haven't been too aggressive today. Men used to be very aggressive. We loved battles to prove our manhood with wars and politics. And, of course, our superiority over women.
Yes, because the women allowed it. They had much wider interests. Men seemed to only love conflict.
Perhaps this was an excess testosterone problem, which needed a bit of medication.
Testosterone problem. After my time.
Not your problem, Bill.
No, I'm too old, dear. But young men love to fight battles. Well, take football and rugby. Both give young men an opportunity for violent behaviour.
Perhaps proving their manhood.
Manhood? Perhaps the old Islamic concept is still being used so skillfully by ISIS as to give men a great opportunity to prove manhood. Thousands of aggressive young men have joined and have found an excuse to fight and kill. Even Catholics kill people, but hopefully not on Sundays.
Well, perhaps with ISIS, young men can even believe fighting was a manhood test ordered by God himself. You know, young men can believe absolutely anything.
Old men too, dear.
Yes, but we women want peace, not war. In the past, men considered women too weak and with no power or competence to decide anything, except about children.
Well, in my time, we could buy or sell women as needed. It was very convenient.
Convenient indeed. Shame on you. And was it true that wives could be beaten for refusal to have sex?
Of course. It seemed to work rather well.
I think it may happen today, dear. But not with me.
Beating women for sex? Just, no, thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming, Herodotus. That may have worked well until one woman, my sister, had a great idea for peace.
Another Greek myth.
And now, for a very clever lady we still may need today. 400 BC, Lysistrata, at the time of the Peloponnesian War. Welcome.
Thank you. I am Lysistrata. In my time in Greece, the men were busy pursuing the interminable Peloponnesian War for many years. They simply refused to stop fighting.
Perhaps they were enjoying it. Gave them something to do.
Yes, but continual war causes much damage to children and family life. As a powerless woman, what was I to do? But I had a great idea. With all of the women, we created a long and detailed oath to refuse all sexual pleasures to the men.
Without getting beaten?
There were too many of us, and the men were too busy fighting. Well, with this female triumph so motivated our women that we seized control of the state treasury without cash or cents. The men simply could not continue their war. So they stopped fighting and made peace.
Well, hooray, that is a great illustration of the potential for women's empowerment.
Well, when we women want something and enough women agree, then we do it. You've got to get enough women for your empowerment revolution,
I don't know
Kate.
that I'd go on along with that.
Question. Can we trust men to be peaceful?
No, not really. They lie. Women empowerment worked for me.
Wow. Thank you so much for coming.
She's always available when needed to stop the men fighting.
We must recognise that our men never feel personally responsible for their disasters.
Could women have done better?
How could we have done any worse?
So many of these old ancient fixed ideas go back to ancient Greece, where even Socrates, like Bill here, had the view that men were better than women.
How dare you insult the great world-famous philosopher Socrates. He was
BC.
always right.
BC 470 to 399. Socrates, Athens, Greece. Welcome.
Thank you. I am Socrates, a feminist advocating for the rights and interests of all activities that men take part in. It is a matter of class. So sorry, but remember, once equal to man, woman becomes superior.
Cheers.
I recognise the biological differences between men and women. I also recognise that men are superior, but I fear that women may be better at certain tasks.
Then do you agree that some women are better than some men at some things already, like education, management?
Well, in life there are always exceptions, but I believe in male superiority in all areas.
Surely not.
Yes, especially for inheritance. The sons, not daughters, must get all of the property and cash.
Why?
Well, in my time in enlightened Greece, women had no political or property rights.
Thank goodness it's all changed now. Women can get everything.
I know they still can't drive cars in Saudi Arabia, but were they even allowed out alone?
No, sometimes they would spend their whole lives in the home. Men were superior.
And have superior sons, not inferior daughters.
Yes.
Hard to believe. But may I ask you a medical question?
Of course.
Was it true that some men, to prove their manhood, even tied up one testicle to be sure of getting a son, not a daughter?
Yes, that was a bit optimistic.
But did it work?
Well, not for me.
Well,
Must go now.
thank you so much for coming.
Testicle tie-up. Sounds a most uncomfortable sacrifice.
But perhaps the women made sacrifices too, like Boudica.
AD 40, Boudica, queen of the British Celtic tribe, an ally of Rome. Tall, fierce, red hair down to the waist, harsh voice, terrifying woman.
Shut up! I am Boudica, Boadicea, Buku, Queen of Iceni.
What happened to you?
Well, when my husband Prasudiku the king died, we were allies of Rome. But that did not stop our country being annexed by Suetonius, the Roman governor. Our allies. He was a bugger. My daughters were raped by Roman slaves. I was flogged, and the Roman financiers called in all of their cash loans.
So, you were a bit upset.
Yes, I was a bit upset after a flogging. In more ways than one.
So, what did you do about it?
Well, while Suetonius was busy fighting in Wales, I rose up for revenge. I led the tribes in revolt and destroyed Camalodunum
Modern Colchester,
and Londinium.
modern London.
Shut up! Between 70,000 and 80,000 Roman and British men were killed. Not bad for a woman. But then Suetonius, despite being heavily outnumbered, defeated me in the Battle of Watling Street.
So, what did you do?
Well, I had no choice. I had to kill myself. I could not risk being captured and flogged again. Once was enough.
Yes, indeed. Hooray. So you were a woman hero, like the Amazons.
I think so. But my protest was stopping the Roman men from taking over the world.
Seems that, like the Amazons, we women can fight well when we really want to.
Indeed we can.
Sorry, Boudica, but alas, it was male superiority again. Even with reduced numbers, that horrid Suetonius beat you. Men
Shut
were
up!
superior.
We were a little bit too tired. Perhaps you can do better this time.
Well, thank you so much, Boudica. That was a wonderful example of women's courage and power to inspire us.
So hard to believe that in the past, both men and women could behave so harshly against each other in that way.
Agreed.
But are there any limits? Let's ask Henry VIII.
1491 to 1547 AD, Henry VIII, King of England, since 1509. Welcome to our discussion on women empowerment, Henry.
What? I don't believe in women power. They're just not up to it. They don't know their bums from their elbows. But please, just call me Henry.
Henry, you were a little bit too sexy and somehow died of it. I won't tell anyone though.
Thank you, Google. It was a bit embarrassing.
Okay, Henry, so what was your story?
As King of England, I was a very religious man. I even had to get married 6 times just to produce one male heir. Daughters were just not good enough for me.
Oh, so you're very religious.
Yes, very religious. And when it didn't work with wife number 1, I had to try again with wife number 2 and Boland. So I needed an annulment. But the tough Catholic Pope refused me. As a religious man, I needed that annulment to get my son. So what to do? I protested.
Oh, you protested?
Yes, I protested. And I formed my own Protestant Church of England against the old Catholic Church of Rome. I even added a few things like the divine right of king, which gave me the power to execute or banish anyone with or without trial.
That was a bit bold.
Yes, well...
Was it really necessary?
Well, it seemed to work, as any of my misbehaving ministers were beheaded or banished. So easy and convenient.
But your key priority as a very religious man was to have a son to succeed you.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Kate, for a woman, you are so well informed. Anyway, when Anne couldn't give me a son after 2 years, I had to get an annulment.
Oh, you were very religious. Her reaction?
Well, she absolutely refused. I had to do something.
So, you had Anne's head chopped off and declared her daughter a bastard.
Yes, I felt a bit bad about that. But it worked out rather well, as none of my other wives ever refused me annulment or a divorce.
I'm not surprised.
I just asked, gently, of course, and they all agreed. Right away.
I wonder why.
Well, it seemed to work out, as I had my son to succeed me on the throne. I had no confidence in women in power.
Except in bed, of course.
Yes.
Henry, thank you so much for coming. Oh,
What a strange man.
oh I'm going to shower now.
Well, I think now we should call Queen Elizabeth I.
Yes, I think so, yes.
The wonderful Queen Elizabeth I, 1533 to 1603 AD, daughter of Protestant Henry VIII by his second wife Anne Boleyn. Welcome to our discussion.
Thank you. I am Elizabeth I, and I'm a firm supporter of your women empowerment, but not revolution, please. I did it so well for many years, and I avoided revolution for over 40 years.
Well done. How did you manage it?
Well, I was very cautious when it came to foreign affairs and military campaigns to avoid financial disasters. I set up the new Protestant church, but unlike my father, I was not very religious. He really overdid it when it came to the divine rights of kings with executions, divorces and marriages. But it did come in to be rather useful. So I never married. Considered it several times, but I became famous for my virginity. It didn't bother me at all, as, like the Amazons, I was very busy.
True. But what else did you do? Did you like some men?
Yes, just a bit. I supported seafaring adventurers like Francis Drake, and English drama with playwrights like Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe, but he was a bit too sexy for me.
You were always criticised for being short-tempered, tight-fisted and indecisive, but you never hit anyone, as far as we know.
How could I help it? With all of the problems with economic and military campaigns? But I won in the end. Women empowerment worked for me without the need of a revolution. I was a success. I gently passed away on the throne in 1603.
Hopefully still a virgin.
Officially, of course. The source of my 45 years of power.
Elizabeth, thank you so much. You have inspired us.
You're so welcome. Bye for now.
Wow. And there's no limit on her ability to rule. women empowerment for 45 years, and can we do that again?
No. I believe she was a man disguised as a woman, hence her so-called virginity.
A powerful virgin indeed.
A powerful woman indeed.
Now for my favourite powerful woman, Margaret Thatcher, MP in 1970. In 1979 to 1990, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Welcome.
Thank you.
Margaret, what's your story?
Known as the Iron Lady, as I became associated with uncompromising politics and leadership style, with determined Thatcherism, I defeated the dinosaurs called the trade unions.
Oh, yes, I am a supporter.
You did it, but somehow your popularity faded.
Agreed. So to please the men who love violence, I declared war, and I accepted the challenge of Argentina.
So you gave the men a license to kill to keep them happy.
Yes, I declared a war, a peanut war in 1982 called the Falklands War.
To please the men.
Yes, and we won. This brought me new popularity, support and re-election again in 1983 for a second term. Hooray, the Iron Lady again.
But then you faced a major disaster.
Yes, my mistake was the poll tax. I had so many male supporters and colleagues, I thought I could rely on them. But my political allies, men, left me. So alas, I learned that women in politics cannot and will not rely on men unless you offer whiskey all around votes at the voting house.
So you resigned in 1990 after 11 years of wonderful leadership.
So disappointing. After the brave effort for so many years, 11 years. Perhaps the men were happy to get back into control. So I retired and became Baroness Thatcher.
So a tough leader for so long, yet defeated by one political mistake which cost you your powerful man networking.
Women have to be so careful relying on men.
No, Margaret, your mistake wasn't the poll tax.
Oh. What was it?
Your mistake was women voting. With your 11 years in power, you should have brought women into 50% Parliament, 50% House of Lords, 50% government, and given women, not men, the key power relationships.
Must agree. I had the chance to change the top power levels, but I did not do it. Perhaps I felt like a man in disguise.
With all due respect, Baroness Thatcher, you saved the men in power. You were a wonderful leader for the men.
Yes, alas, you had no time for women's empowerment.
So sorry. I had the opportunity for a revolution to bring a woman power majority. The men are still in charge. Damn it. Perhaps you will do it. Bye for now.
Thank you, Margaret, for a wonderful example of female leadership in impossible political crises.
But perhaps now we're ready to discuss another completely different women's leadership style, traditional Queen Elizabeth II.
Elizabeth II, born 1926 AD, and from 1952 became Queen of England, the Commonwealth, and the Church of England. Welcome to our discussion.
Thank you. I feel much support for your women empowerment.
Your Majesty, over 40 successful years on the throne. Dear Elizabeth, what was your story?
Be not in public, dear. Queen Elizabeth is just fine.
Thank you, Lizzie.
Well, as the surviving daughter of George V, with no elder brothers, I felt that I must show an example for all of the women. So in the Second World War, I served in the Auxiliary Territorial Service, and in 1947 married Philip and had 4 children.
How did you achieve such international popularity?
Politeness and dignity. I created worldwide relationships with state visits everywhere. even to meet the Pope at the Vatican. And I also quietly accepted devolution in the UK, Canada, and African colonies. I was never criticised or threatened.
Occasionally, you had to face rude Republican sentiments.
Yes, and horrid press criticism too. But I always remained calm, peaceful and dignified. I never lost my temper in public, and therefore remained support for the monarchy with gentle, traditional, almost Victorian, personal popularity.
A wonderful achievement, Lizzie.
And, excuse me, Mum, but when are you going to hand over the crown to your many sons or grandsons?
Not yet. I can still do it. Perhaps I'm like my grandmother, Queen Victoria, who reigned for over 64 years and lived to be 82. Her son Edward had to wait until he was 61 years old until he could take over, and he soon passed on.
But your sons have been waiting 40 years and are still waiting.
Not ready to go yet, Google. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you. You've got a wonderful example of women's empowerment. Thank you so much for coming.
What a great lesson for us from these fantastic women.
Yeah, women will run the 21st century.
From our discussion so far, there are a lot of things about us women that I'm not sure of.
Oh. Well, another vote now, please. Are we ready for women's empowerment revolution in the 21st century with the new Amazons? Me, yes.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Alas, Google never gets to vote.
Okay, so our result is 1 to 3. Well, every new truth goes through the 3 stages of ridicule, rejection, but finally gentle acceptance.
Now I'm really beginning to get worried.
But remember Socrates.
Once made equal to man, woman becomes his superior.
Wow, that was a great discussion for today. And we still have 1 day left to complete our script.
Just one day. Cheers.
So I hope we're all not too tired. No nightmares. Anyway, let's carry on with our project. So we still agree that we still suffer from man's terrible mistakes of the past.
Not my personal responsibility. Men are almost entirely innocent. It was all the fault of fate. And Google.
Accepted.
I take full responsibility.
Well,
Cheers.
Our chat yesterday was long and interesting, but it hasn't changed my view. Men still have the money and are too powerful in 2012.
Yes?
Oh, yes.
Aha.
Fantastic.
And she?
OMG.
And him?
Just brilliant.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
so,
Fantastic news.
Was just speaking with the casting director.
And she is on cloud 9.
Because lots of stars are pushing her to be cast.
The real stars.
A-list stars.
Uh-huh.
And now you're going to tell me that Angelina Jolie is going to play Margaret Thatcher.
How did you know?
Yes, she will.
And Helen Mirren?
let me guess. Queen Elizabeth.
Wrong.
She has been cast as a supporting role of the wild Amazon on the horse and topless.
Oh my god, why?
You know, she likes to act naked.
And we have Bruce Willis for.
Simple. Henry VIII.
Nope.
He plays Herodotus.
What? Really?
It is the director's idea.
And who's the director? Spielberg?
No.
Polanski.
Come on, you're not doing a soft porno.
I know. Woody Allen.
No.
It is not a sophisticated comedy.
Alright.
Hold your breath.
It is Madonna.
Oh, gee! I need another scotch and soda.
Wow. Well, she's a real woman, a real new Amazon.
Excuse me. If she is directing it, it won't be soft. It'll be hard porn.
Shame on you, you sexist.
All right. I'm proud of it.
So, DiCaprio is Socrates.
Johnny Depp, Henry VIII.
Nicole Kidman, Boudica.
Oh, why have they got all these old faces? Where's the new ones? Next you'll be telling me that Harrison Ford is getting...
Yes.
And who's he playing?
Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, God!
Well, at least the right age.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
now, it's not that old.
Bill.
All right, I'm sorry. Now let's get on with our script.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Oh, so, on with the present. We have an even bigger motivation after this great news. Are the women free in the present for a revolution?
No, in the UK there are still things women cannot do.
Become a Freemason.
Join the Marines.
Belong to a gentleman's club.
Or become a Catholic bishop.
Not yet.
But what the future holds.
Only Google knows.
Now I'm a bit worried. Perhaps the women are progressing too fast.
Oh, be brave, dear. Women are much kinder than men most of the time. On with the present.
I must introduce to you long-suffering man of present and even the future, Darren Henderson. Welcome to our discussion.
Thanks. Fuck! Sorry. My name's Darren Henderson. I'm a 53-year-old man. I was making £33 an hour laying sheet metal until the real estate crisis hit and I lost my job. Unemployed, I lost my wife and then my car. So I wasn't doing anything at home, so my wife kicked me out. I was falling behind on child support payments. As an effort to prove what I was doing in work, I went out and I got a driving licence. I also got my bartending licence. The result? Useless. So I just chucked him to the ground for what use they've been, for an over 50s unemployed man.
What happened next?
Well, my wife, soon ex-wife, she's making £50,000 a year, and she's doing her masters in social work. Me? I'm just getting my food stamps. That's about the only social welfare programme a man can easily access.
Darren, do you feel without hope for the future?
Yeah, I do. The other day, I was waiting at the bus stop. My wife, she drives past. She looks me right in the eye and just keeps going. So now I need a drink. And I must learn to laugh again.
Darren, thank you for your story. That is a tough life indeed. We women need to give you hope for the future.
Yes, with women's empowerment, you'll be our new priority. We will look after you, Darren.
Wow, that is a crisis indeed.
Certainly is. Could it happen to me?
No, just cool down, dear. Nothing for you to worry about.
Oh, thank you, dear. I am not unemployed, but I am over 60.
So, on the present, male unemployment is a critical problem for the workers. Perhaps even more in the future.
Well, that was a great discussion on the past and the present, with so many inspiring visitors to support our revolution.
Now for the impossible future.
Let's do it.
Now for the future.
Yes. So, like witches, let us forecast the future. Let us discuss the possible and impossible news with our old friend Google.
Alright, USA, Hillary Clinton became President of the United States of America in 2017, the first female president. And big, I mean big surprise, played by Monica Lewinsky. Welcome to our discussion.
Thank you. I am Hillary Clinton, woman of the people. I support women empowerment. I will reinforce women in Congress and Senate and as ministers. Violence and war will be reduced with skillful female negotiation. I will change the world with new woman priorities for peace, children, families, and anti-corruption, etc. I will plan for a woman majority in Congress and Senate. We will reduce US military spending to promote peace in Russia and China. Florida drones will be used to control aggression with incredible whistleblower accuracy. The last 40% of women will vote every time for a woman.
Oh, thank you, Hillary, for inspiring us. Wow, it's fantastic.
You're welcome. Now, on you go with your women empowerment. How is my lipstick, dear?
Lovely, Hillary. Final script completed.
News bulletin.
Breaking news. A 14-year-old Pakistani girl, Malala Yousafzai, has been taken into intensive care after being shot in the head and neck by the Taliban after advocating education for girls.
That's terrible. Oh my goodness, news. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my God. Oh, how should we react to this? I mean, should we stop?
No, absolutely not. Like we have to take responsibility. We have to try. That convinces me. We have to take responsibility.
Men may see us as being devious. Perhaps we are, but nothing is achieved without risk. On we go, responsible.
Only men could do such a terrible thing to Malala. All right, that's it. I am joining your women's campaign. Women must take over. The new Amazons and the women for the 21st century.
Yes!
Take responsibility.
Oh, Neil! Wow, fantastic. Shall we send the final draft?
Yes!
We need women's empowerment.
The new Amazons are coming.
Remember,
Once made equal to man,
woman becomes his superior. Lights down. Back up. Alright, so 1 week later,
they won the competition.
they had the money that they needed for their revolution.
Could this happen?
A new Amazon revolution.
Who knows?